Okay, we're gonna be live in a minute. We're going live in a minute, so just so you know. So you want to just I can't read what that says.
It says Michael has their interview waiting room.
What does that say? Okay, so they have to wait.
Do you need me to?
No, that's fine. I'll put that one on, and I guess if I could allow my hands.
I didn't meet you. Steve Dylan.
Dylan, nice to meet you. You're the man in charge.
Yeah, right. Because I've been here so many times. Plus, I drink so much coffee every night.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
All right, welcome back.
Kind of weird. Sorry.
Like DJ style mic, you want to just hold the part to your chin so it sounds consistent. And if you can, try to talk from like your chest where you can talk loud without yelling. So everybody on the internet can hear you. This is scheduled for a 7:10 to jump in. So we do our intros now. It's officially 7 o'clock. So we kind of wait for everybody else.
I saw you had a participant. Of course, it could be the internet.
The other one was
I didn't really catch that there was an internet link. So.
The Asian woman.
On the meetup? On the meetup group?
Yeah, I think she had a really cool name. Sounds like some rock star name.
I know who you're talking about. Gem? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Gem had some issues.
Oh, okay.
And how many people do you typically get dialing in from the internet?
It's our first one, so let's see.
Yeah. For the first Zoom, yeah.
Yeah. First time we're doing Zoom live.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
I had one person said they were going to show up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I also teach a class at State College in Florida. Half the participants are in the classroom, and the other people are remotely participating. Yeah. And of course, I'm never using the camera. I'm just sort of flashing up the data on the screen and creating stuff like that.
Definitely is changing. I mean, you can learn so much. I mean, be right there. It's almost like being here, just not in person. Yeah.
You can be here for John versus lecture hall.
Or you can even put your video on as well. Yeah.
What another college actually saw? I got to pull that article. They were saying how the study habits, how they do the lecture hall. They all do it online, but they do a live doc in the hall. And like, it's like a little 20 study group, and all 20 people are like, I missed that. Oh, here's what happened. So at the end, they just all share. Like, if 20 people taking 20, but that's it. That's FBI does that. You're gonna listen to a call. They have 20 people listening.
To get all the little, you missed this, but I thought that.
Right. So that's what they do. They have like 20 person study group. They all get a Google Doc, and they're done. They all have an actual study doc, but in real time, it's like, I have no idea what that guy said. What does that mean? Oh, it means this. And you're in your little chat getting the information done for you in real time by your peers.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So I gotta see if that's gonna be allowed in Flash. It's time. That's your reminder. Want to go live? I want to do our intros first, not being live. So check the time.
I'll say I thought I'm looking at it thinking that I'm on the other side for a second. I'm like, where am I? And I'm like, oh wait, I'm on the other side.
Do you want to sit down?
Technology.
You're the voice from the.
Actually, want to sit on the.
On the sure. Right in front of the camera.
There you go.
I can create the galley view, and then as people jump on, we can ask some questions or answer their questions. Kind of the joke was Bill and I made actually a video on how to do this, and we used the tax person as the example. So we should probably just go watch that. And then we can go.
No, I saw that, Raj. It was the CPA.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even know that. I just kind of just making stuff up. I think we just make stuff up just to make stuff up. It comes to us, and then you find out like, oh, I have the CPA. Everything says totally wrong. That one's maxed out +1, so that's 7, right?
Yeah. Because technically,
these are like that's an actual client.
No. This is kind of like the freebie for Fridays.
Oh, the same thing. They're just here.
That's a different group. It's still us.
Oh, okay. That's the Mastermind.
That's a billionaire.
You seen the show? Undercover Billionaire show.
I've not seen it, but I saw it. I could swore I saw video. What I really want to do. This is for business, but the reason I brought Kristen, I don't know how much camera work we'd be doing. Plus, we leave her home on Friday night. But we want to just go out, video camera, stuff like that. Just make little local Manatee County videos and stuff like that. She would have to be my videographer. So you never know. We can collaborate with creative people.
Yeah.
So, is your business or you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I do some of this, but then I do a lot of digital marketing, so a lot of paid advertising. So I have a page right now where I do a lot of content. So that's kind of what I do. Marketing. It's especially digital because I've always been a computer guy.
Yeah.
So it's like two perfect things for me. It's like digital and marketing. So there's so much you can do with technology nowadays. It's like whenever you learn something new, it's like a whole open door. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you could do that much. You know,
And
how much
just advances so quickly. I mean,
oh yeah, no, it's definitely like I'm constantly taking trainings and stuff because I have to like stay on top.
Yeah.
Newest thing. Always more.
That's for sure.
Now we go along marketing seminar a few years ago. Whatever the DPI is of the internet, so as long as you have a cell phone, it's good enough video.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially like social media. People prefer. We've noticed like engagement levels. If people are using like cell phone videos, are actually more welcome because people don't want to see ads. They want to see something that feels like something they would see from their friends. So that's why a lot of advertisers who do successfully, they'll kind of have those cell phone shot videos. They'll do things that kind of feel like their friends. You know, it's like your friend.
That's interesting.
Have you ever heard of? I don't know if you ever seen on Twitter Wendy's, like the restaurant.
They troll people all the time.
It's like, but the thing that they did good about it is they turned Wendy into a person on Twitter. So she's got like this redheaded, like bad attitude, but like people like that because it feels like she's an actual person. It's a brand like turned into a person. And, you know, that's kind of how you manage social.
That is neat.
Yeah.
My grandson that started his own little YouTube channel talking about wrestling. Yeah. And it's like, I told him he's got to get better at this because I get seasick when I watch your videos, man. It's just like, for the money, you know.
All right, and we're live. So we're gonna shut that. We're gonna mute that one. So I'm gonna mute this guy. So we're gonna go. Did you just hit the volume or the mute on the Zoom? All right, perfect. All right, so this obviously works. This is the Content Creation Mastermind. We're going to actually record this. You'll have access to it. If you can't make it today, you can always go online. This is going to start day one of the archive, and it is 9/27/19. My name is Ninja Mike, and we're going to throw the mic around. We're going to show you our host facilitator, the man that started it all.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. For those who don't know, my name is Dylan Greisen, and tonight we're doing a content creation mastermind. We'll be doing some video editing, you know, doing some, maybe even some written editing. I don't know if that's what we'll end up be doing tonight, but probably mostly video. And, you know, it's a great time. If you have questions and you're watching, you know, feel free, you know, put it in the chat. Of course, I don't know, Mike, do you want people to come up on video or? Okay, yeah, if you want to come up on video, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, and you can ask questions that way or just come up on chat. It'll be good. So yeah, if you have any questions throughout this whole thing, feel free to let us know and I'll pass it over if everyone wants to introduce themselves.
Hi, Steve Mead. I came here lured by the website video of me, but I am now absolutely thrilled to hear that you might do some video editing, which is something I really, truly would like to learn how to do. But first time here, brought my wife. She doesn't want to talk to anybody, but she would be my videographer. And then, of course, I would learn to do the editing, but I'm a tax professional. and an insurance agent. So, hello.
Do you want to be muted or do you want to talk?
I'll just say
All right, so just say hi. Say hi to everybody.
hi.
All right, you can be. We're not going to say your name. You can just hide. You can walk away. All right. So if you're here into the group, we did our little intros already. We let you privy to that. We're going to cut this really short, 15, 20 minutes. But here's the exercise today. We want to make you the expert, and we do that by videos, even like this. Now, when Dylan and I record this, which we are, and we put it somewhere else, it shows that we hold meetings. You know what to expect, and you know that we know what we're talking about because we can demonstrate. So that's going to be part of his demonstration, but a lot of times it's frequently asked questions. And we're going to show you tonight's exercise. We're going to get all the frequently asked questions, the top 5. When we have that ready to roll, we are going to shoot. You're not going to be privy to that part, but again, I'm going to challenge you if you're watching this now or at a later time, grab the camera, go find somewhere quiet, get your frequently asked questions, and then start making videos. They don't need to be long, maybe 90 seconds to 3 minutes max. And it's just the question that you start. So first, we're getting the frequently asked questions. Now, do you have email? Do you get all the time?
No, not so much, because I'm hoping to get business that will lead to those emails that will ask the questions. But I have a question that everybody asks, and that is, what is an enrolled agent? Because that's what I am.
Okay, we're going to hand you over the mic, and then we're going to go start there. So the first way to get questions is you're meeting people. You say, hi, I do this for my living. They go, what the heck does that mean? That's a great frequently asked question. So, things your customers are asking or email. So we're going to pass the mic over to Steve, and we're going to start with Steve.
Okay, am I answering and asking my own questions? Is that the...
We want to know, we got to write this down. What do you get? How do you get? Are you getting customers to the door? What gets asked the most? Write that first question down. That we just talked about.
What is an enrolled agent?
Okay, what would be the second one?
How much does it cost?
How much does it cost?
Yep. And then I guess followed up by, well, what exactly is it that you do? And we do 3 things. We do, aside from tax preparation and back tax preparation mainly for people who are in good behavior, stay current with their taxes and things like that. We just want to do an every year annual tax service form. But those that are delinquent, then we do back taxes, pull IRS transcripts, take an overview of their entire tax problem that they have. And then if it's something that either I don't want to deal with, or I would rather refer out to attorneys or CPAs or enrolled agents like myself to handle, then that's what I would do. But I get paid to pull the transcripts, give them the consultation for free. The name of the business is Tax Attorney Near Me. And so if they're using that search term, they're thinking they need a tax attorney, when in reality that would be the most expensive route. But if they did need an attorney, I would be the first one to tell them they need an attorney. But most of the time, an enrolled agent and even a CPA can handle the 90% of all the tax problems out there.
So I am not in the tax business. Do you know anything about taxes? Are you in the tax business? Okay, so you are. So part of this exercise, take a family member, friend, somebody that's not in your industry. And then the part 2 of the game is called the technobabble game. Every time you use an industry term that no one knows what you're talking about but you, we're going to delete that term. So let's start with your first question. And as you say that, as you answer it, right, we're recording. Actually, do you have a phone on you? This is part 2 for you guys too. If you have a cell phone or MP3, put it on voice recorder, and you'll have an audio backup. So if any genius comes out of your mouth, you'll have an opportunity to run back and grab that. So give you a minute to get your phones together on the internet there. Because I'm not in the industry, I'm gonna have to beat you up with the follow-up questions because I have no idea what you're talking about. This is where it helps because you'll say something, you'll assume everyone else knows that, but we don't know because I'm just user. So how does a person know they even need this? Like what am I doing at home? So if I have a job or am I a business?
Am I a job or am I?
So am I an entrepreneur with an issue, or am I say I make 100,000 between my wife and I, and we didn't pay tax? Well, actually, taxes get taken out. So how do I know that? Who is your ideal client? How does somebody know they have this problem that they need you?
Well, actually, the ideal client is individuals or businesses because they all have to file taxes. ideal client would be a person who's behind on their taxes and they need help with their problem fixed. Same thing had happened with a business. It's only magnified more in a business. So, but the general sense is really a tax preparation, but enrolled agents have an excellent credential, but just nobody is aware of what it is and they haven't heard of it before. They all know what a CPA is. They all know what an attorney is, but that's the number one question. Oh, that's great. So what's an EA? And the best elevator version of what an EA is we are non-lawyer tax attorneys.
Okay, so that's what we're going to use for a term. If you get that, that's I have no idea. Non-lawyer tax attorney. So when you're making your YouTube videos and you say, "What is this?" you answer it with, basically, my name's Mike, and I am a non-lawyer, non-attorney, non-lawyer tax attorney. So you're on barred almost, like out of the joke.
Well, it's not even an actual explanation, but if you tell everybody what an enrolled agent is, they're almost always, oh, so you're an accountant. No, I'm not an accountant. Oh, then you're a lawyer, right? No, I'm not a lawyer. And we are tax experts. We have a U.S. Treasury Department credential, and so we can practice tax anywhere in the United States, unlike attorneys and CPAs. And 100%, we fall under the jurisdiction of the IRS, and 100% of our education is in taxation, whereas lawyers and CPAs are licensed by states, and they can take a class on how to make Excel spreadsheets work for their business, and that's considered continuing professional education for them. We are really the nation's tax experts. I don't know if that was helpful or not. But.
Yeah. Let's put the recorder close to here because this is the stuff we need. So you're going to talk into both. Okay, so basically when we had that, we're just going to write that down. We'll clean it up. And usually the follow-up questions, after you make a statement, you want to say, well, what's in it for the user? How does that affect me? And then that'll actually give you the better story. Because I'm a non-lawyer tax attorney, you're not paying additional fees to hire a licensed barred attorney, which will cost you thousands and put you deeper in your hole. So things of that nature.
That was pretty good, actually. Very good. Yeah, and that's really.
So we'll hand the mic back to you. So we'll try question number 2, and then we'll say once we get to 5, and then we'll clean them up, and then we'll shoot. So we'll get your 5 questions. We'll work on 2 of them for example purposes for this video, and then we'll shoot.
Okay. Then I'm going to jump down to one of these questions here, which is essentially, okay, what is it that you could do? And when we do 3 things, we pull your IRS records. We give you a free consultation analysis of the overall IRS tax problem that you're dealing with. And then if it's something that I don't want to deal with, I'll make a referral to a competent expert, but most cost-effective referral to either another enrolled agent, CPA, or tax attorney.
All right, so for those listening, if you have a 3 list right now, the name of this video is going to be the top 3 things to expect when hiring this business. So Steve has his top 3, and that's going to be the demonstration video. So we're going to demonstrate what happens is we do 1, we do number 2, and we do number 3. And that should either be one big video, or you can make a series of 3 videos out of that. And when we talk about repurposing content, that's what we mean. So if we do a quick interview later and that ends up being maybe 12 minutes, we can actually take 4-minute videos. And now we have 3 4-minute videos. Or we can take the best power statement, make a 1-minute video for Instagram, for stories, or for even LinkedIn. So get your top 3 things that you do, and that's your demonstration.
That's me. I'm doing that. My top 3, or am I moving on to another question?
Top 3. So now we're gonna clean that up. So number 1. Let's go to number 2. Say number 2 because the word that.
Yep. The number 2, which is what is it that you do?
Okay. You said you have to do 3 things.
Yep. We do 3 things. 1 is we pull your IRS transcript data, and 2, we give you a free consultation analysis.
Free costs too much, and anything. Everybody knows that free costs too much. So we're not gonna use the word free anymore.
Okay.
So what would be better than you're pulling it? I want to know what my problem is. So you want to exaggerate the problem. So what is my fear? Losing my house, wage garnishment, possibly.
Well, that's every single one of the. Yeah, you see, you're catching on now. They're absolutely every single one of those things. And most people don't act until they have the fire of the IRS on their back, and so they've received a letter of some sort scaring them because now they have a tax bill and now they're confronted with dealing with the IRS. And so they're going to want to try to get somebody between themselves and the IRS to help make that problem go away. And that's most of the time people jump right to the top of the ladder, which is, oh my God, I need a tax attorney. And that's why the name of the business is Tax Attorney Near Me as an organic search term. But then we give them, and so to get to the how much will this cost me, you have to understand the totality of the issue. And understanding the totality of the issue is, in fact, contacting the IRS to find out what the entire issue is, right? So you have to get the records from the IRS. You have to possibly even talk to IRS personnel and find out what it's going to take for them to get into compliance, which means that in order to settle a debt with the IRS, to get into an installment program with the IRS, to get them off your back in as friendly as a way as possible, you have to be in compliance. So all back taxes that are unfiled have to be filed. And depending on the urgency of the question, because sometimes people will come in and throw a stack of IRS letters down, and it's the one threatening a levy or a garnishment or a lien that really gets them moving. And now you don't have the luxury of time working with you. They get their first letter and they throw it in on the pile. The second letter comes along, and the IRS sends out an increasingly threatening level of letters to the people before they actually take action. They actually levy assets, or they levy paychecks, or they levy Social Security checks. Or they'll file a lien, which is a public record notification that you have an unpaid debt, which then affects your ability to buy things, and it used to affect your credit. Doesn't do that so much anymore. But those are the things those are the fears that stop this from happening. And there's a way to do that, but you first got to figure out. They might be only telling you, oh, I have unpaid taxes for 2015, but the IRS says, no, you actually have 3 years of unpaid taxes. And so you have to figure out everything that's wrong. And then you're able to figure out, well, what it's going to cost, right? How many tax returns have to be prepared, and how deep the problem really is.
Okay, when you're going through yours, he has we like to shoot with props. So if you just do the regular with the cell phone, that's fine. But if you want to go one step and be really cool, get props. Now, if I was going to do props for this, I would either get a check, cut it in half, rip it up because it's gone, show an empty bank account, or just have a stack of letters. Like, did you just get a stack of letters from the IRS? Yes. Let's stop that. Don't even go. That's my prop. Don't even get it. It's fine. Now, if you're getting stuck on getting questions, we're going to turn the mic over to Dylan, because we actually discussed this about a month ago on places we can get questions. So where are people asking questions?
All right. So question being, where are people asking questions? And, number one thing I would always say, the easiest way is always if you ask your customers, that could be obviously the first and best place to do it. But a lot of times, even if you're starting out and maybe you don't have customers yet, or, your customers aren't speaking, let's say they're not telling the truth, or they're just not really getting to the heart of the issue, is going online. And a few different ways you can do that. For example, like on Facebook, Facebook has this really cool thing with Facebook groups. And with Facebook groups, you can find groups that are targeted by interest. So, for example, maybe for this, there might be a group or something that relates to it. A lot of times you'll find that people are constantly asking questions. Like, for example, there's a business group, like a Mastermind business group that I'm on Facebook, and I constantly see people asking questions, whether it's marketing, finances, all sorts of different questions. And a lot of times you're finding the root of what people are asking. And, a lot of times you also see that people comment, they engage on it, and they're like, oh yeah, I had that same question, or yeah, I've been wondering that. And that's one area you can connect if you wanted to use social media. But now talking about creating videos or trying to find answers that you can give out there, that's a perfect example. You can find right from the source, right at your computer, the questions that are being asked. Also something, not to get too in the weeds, but Google, a lot of times you can use Google's keyword planner, and you can use that to find search terms. So a lot of times you can find certain popular questions, and you can use that search term query, I guess you'd call it, and you can use it on like YouTube. Google has it, and to where you can find the most recent, like there's apps out there. I won't go too in depth, but basically that you can leverage your social media, the internet, to find what people are looking for, what they're asking, and to actually be able to find that really popular question that you could answer. You know, so that would be my answer to that. So. Quora, yeah. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about Quora. Like I said, there's so many out there. Quora is actually a really good one as well, because the intent behind it is, I don't know if anyone out there has ever used like Yahoo Answers back in the day. It was really popular where people would ask questions and they give answers. Well, Quora is kind of like that, but it's kind of the more of the modern day Yahoo Answers, I guess you'd say. And a lot of people are using that, but a lot of it is focused on, you know, more professional, I guess you'd say, level questions, where I've seen a lot where it relates to businesses. So for example, like, you know, questions on, you know, certain types of therapies or certain things in accounting, you know, I mean, pretty much across the board, there's tons of questions, and that's a great place as well where you can find those answers. So, I mean, a lot of it, like I could give a whole list, and I could run over and over on the different possibilities that you can do with it, but just to know that it's out there and to leverage those assets, because it's a great way to connect with, you know, not just your local area, just your local customers, but, you know, on a larger scale, a global scale at that fact. So.
I'm going to ask Dylan one more, because I know we discussed this specifically. Just say you want negative questions. Most people go on Google reviews, go on Yelp. So why don't you explain how to make all the complaints into great FAQs?
Turning the complaints. So with the complaints, you're not talking about from a marketing standpoint of like.
No, because basically I'm a contractor and you see a bunch of complaints saying these guys mess up my rug. So we turn that into we won't mess up. Will we mess up your rug? Of course not.
Yeah.
Those kind of complaints back to.
Oh, I got you. So like how to approach that.
Take the negative reviews.
Yeah. So I think anytime you get a negative review, I almost see it as an opportunity, you know, because it means that someone's pointing out something, obviously one that maybe you should pay attention to within your business, but two, it allows you as a business to position yourself as, I guess it's not necessarily an authority, but in a way authority, but as that humble person, you know, so to speak, because you can respond in a way that's intelligent, it's helping the individual, and you can also get something out of that question or that complaint to where now you know an area within your own business that you can kind of focus on, that you can improve on, but also to, you know, make others, the customers who are reading those reviews, because I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but I always look at like 1-star reviews whenever I'm thinking about buying something or going somewhere. I always look at those reviews. I look at the average. It's the first thing I look at is the average. Like, are they above 3 stars or whatever? And then I look, okay, well, what are the people at the bottoms, you know, the bottom 1 star, 2 stars saying? And, you know, that's really why I think if the business responds to those and, you know, does it in a good way, it really can benefit, because now if I see that, hey, they have a couple 1 stars, but they responded to every single one and they were being professional and honest, then I'm like, okay, well, you know, at least they're not, that maybe these people are just full of it, you know, so to speak.
Okay, thanks on that. Yeah, going back to responding, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, definitely respond to your Google, your Facebook, and your Yelp reviews. And then you can actually make that the best FAQ. It's like, what happened when Susie said my restaurant was horrible? That's a great question. That's like almost suspenseful and reality show style. So yeah, try to do that. So yeah. There we go. Make a video on it. There is, if you're in Sarasota, I shouldn't even bring this up, but go to one of the restaurant groups. You will see the customer versus owner fights. Those are pretty fun to watch. They happen all the time. Go to one of the restaurant groups. Okay, so now that you know, we're getting your frequently asked questions together. If you can't think of them, you know where to get them. You can go to your reviews or other people in your industry's reviews and turn those negatives into questions on how you're not going to be the contractor that dirties up the rug. Maybe your contractors change boots for the inside. Maybe they're not going to, you know, use your restroom. But whatever that is, find those negative reviews, turn them also into FAQs. So we're going to go back to Steve. So we're going to take those questions and we're going to get 1 level, 2 level deeper. so we can turn them into better videos, because there's always a follow-up question. And the question you need to ask yourself is, once you make a statement, well, what's in it for the customer and what's so great about that service? And then you can kind of expand from there. So you always wonder, like, what am I going to talk about? How do I talk about that? If you don't want to do the talking head video just, in front of the camera, have somebody ask you a couple of questions. And if you want to practice first, go online, answer the questions, and then just read what you wrote or read back a conversation. But you can put a service like Zoom on, have 1 or 2 people on there, and just have an open forum. And then say that'll get you the frequently asked questions. And you can edit the Zoom call, and you'll have FAQs for your YouTube, your Instagram, and all your other social media. So are we ready for, you have good questions? We're ready to cut them up? All right, we're going to hand you the mic, and then we're going to pause you every time you make a statement. And I'm going to ask you, well, what does that mean for me? And then just continue on. Make sure your recorder's on, and then we'll be ready to shoot. We're going to check our time. 7:30. We got about 5 to 10 more minutes. Once we do this, you'll have the full exercise. We'll dump off Zoom, and we'll start shooting.
Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm asking the same questions again, or am I going to? Oh, okay, gotcha.
So at any time, you just interrupt. This is the time we're going to interrupt.
Okay. So I can already pre-tell you what one of the questions are going to be. Well, why should I pay you to pull my IRS transcripts? Can't I do that myself? Well, the answer is yes, you can, if you have that amount of time to invest. And
How do I pull my IRS?
well, you go on the internet and find out. I don't know. I can tell you how, right? Exactly. You go to the. Oh, okay. Sure. Sure. Okay. Well, then that's a great question. Then, right. You can do it by phone. You can do it by the internet, or you can do it in writing. All of which are going to take far longer than if I do it for you. So you can go to what's called the IRS Get Transcript, and if everything lines up perfectly, yes, you might be able to order your transcripts and get them online. The biggest killer of that is if you don't have a cell phone in your name. It could be in somebody else's. That'll completely blow your ability to do that. The second thing would be you can call the IRS yourself. And of course, now you're talking to the IRS, and they're talking to you, right? Their letters are motivating you to take action with them. And so now you're actually on the phone with an IRS person, and they were looking for you, right? And so you're handing yourself to them, and you could make admissions, you could make statements that you don't want to make. They will definitely help you get the transcripts you want, but there's going to be a ton of conditions that are going to tie you down to time frames and things like that. So most people don't really want to talk to the IRS. they want to. And then they could do it in writing. They could pull off a form off the internet. They could fill it out, and they could send it in. All of these things will take far more. Me, I could get the transcript information probably under 2 hours. Every other thing would take a day or more, and a lot of their time, right? I mean, if they aren't paying their taxes and they're probably still working, if you've ever called the IRS, and if you have never called the IRS, let me tell you, plan on being on hold for 2 hours. And so I even give people advice on how to not be on hold for 2 hours. But then again, I don't get paid if I give them that advice. So.
So why would it be quicker for someone to, why would it be quicker for you and within 2 hours to do all of that, whereas someone, it could take days, a long time?
Excellent question. And that is because they would fill out for me one of 2 IRS forms. They would either give me a power of attorney to represent them in front of the IRS, which I would dictate whether I'm going to use that form or not. Or there's another form called what's called an 8821. I can't think of the designation of a representative. And essentially, once I have that signature, then I have my own phone line as a practitioner where I can communicate with the IRS directly. Not where the general public would call into the IRS, but being an enrolled agent, we have our own phone line into the IRS. And so, and that's where we get in quicker. And then we stand in place of the taxpayer, and we beg for time. We do what we have to do, but we can get the information. And I have a mailbox in the IRS, and they load the transcript immediately into the mailbox. It's almost like getting it by email, but because of security reasons, it's loaded into what's called a secure mailbox for me. And it is that quick. So the longest part of it is my hold time, which is generally 15 minutes or less, and then dealing with the revenue agent, ordering what I need, getting all the compliance data, because I'm not just going to get the transcripts. I'm also going to get the whole thing that the IRS is going to require. Okay, yep, we're going to want these taxes filed. We want this, 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 and this, and here's the information. And by the way, we want it in 30 days. It's like, well, there's no way we can do that. Give me 60. They're probably not going to do that for the taxpayer, but they'll do that for a practitioner because they understand. Okay, yep, we understand. The guy just came in, threw a stack of letters on your desk, and great question. You got any more beat ups on that?
All right. So now going back to people out here watching this, let me ask you this. Would it have been easier for you to tell us that on your own without us probing you for questions, or could you rattle that out off your head?
I probably could have rattled it off my head, but I think by asking it helps stop me and to make sure I make that point, right? And they're both excellent questions. You know, why do I need you? Why can't I do it? Why are you faster than doing it myself and things like that?
So again, make sure do it yourself, but try to do it with a partner, specifically a partner not in your industry, so they can validly ask a question that maybe your end user would ask. So again, it's a great time to get paused, to get clarity, and to get clear. So I'm going to ask you once: do you feel you are ready to make a small outline and do a live video, or at least do a recorded video?
I mean, recorded like we're recording right now.
No, we're gonna go studio style, and we're gonna take that one question, and then you're gonna ask. I'm gonna ask you either you're on your own, or we could do an interview style. All right, you think you're ready to go?
Based on the transcript retrieval part of it. Yeah, I think I've just re-outlined it real quick, and I would probably be ready to do that. Sure.
All right, so viewers at home, again, get your frequently asked questions together. Get someone to ask somebody else to frequently ask questions. See if there's follow-up questions in there. Get those answered. Cut them up into a small outline. Get in front of a camera and start binge shooting. No one's online for questions. Any other questions for you here?
I remember you. So I know earlier you said, most people don't act until it's too late. So like, when would you say is a good time that they would come to you, or when would you recommend that they would come to you? Would it be when it's like they're like, I need something, like I need it now, or is it like that it's something that like would they come to you and be like, I guess not, like they'll just be like, okay, yeah, we've met. If I ever need anything, I'm gonna come to you. Is that like a better time, or would it be like, oh crap, like I've got something, I'm coming to you now?
Well, I guess the answer to that would be if you were my client as a tax person, as you were one of my tax clients, you wouldn't be in that situation, right? I'd keep you in compliance and I'd be filing your tax returns and everything like that. Most people know they haven't filed their tax return. And most people know that they have taxes owed to the IRS, but most people then put their head in the sand and just say, well, maybe it'll just go away, which it won't. And then all of a sudden, there it is, lo and behold, 9 months later, you get your first letter, and then it just gets worse from there. So yeah, as soon as the IRS contacts you, is the best time to get a hold of me. But really, the ideal time is to become my tax client so that you never have to deal with the IRS. Right? Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like preventative medicine, right?
All right. So if you know when the best time to use you is, put that in there. Now, at the end, you could either just make it straight content where it's just informational only and people do a little goodwill, or at the end of each video, you can say, and if you want to prevent this, make sure you're giving me a call. Let's have a conversation. Click here for the free guide. So you have options of making a goodwill videos that we'll put out, or you can have a call to action. So saying, hey, let's have a conversation to avoid this problem. All right, I think we are ready to outline and shoot. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining on Zoom and watching us at a later date. Again, now this is content for Dylan and I, showing that we know how to run a meeting. We know how to get information out of you. And how we would close is join us on a Friday, free masterminds in Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch. And if you want to do this on a little higher end, join us on a paid weekend every other weekend until the end of the year, 2019. We're going to show up at co-working space. We'll hit the streets and we'll get you a bunch of videos. You'll get a month's worth of content in about one weekend. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching, and I really appreciate you guys coming out for this tonight. And yeah, we're gonna get to shooting the videos now. So if you're doing this at home as well, if you have someone, try making a video, even if it's a cell phone shot video. Try making that, and see how it goes. Even if it bombs, it's okay. It's just about doing it, about getting that practice and just doing it. So, thank you guys for coming out, and yeah, we'll get to the video.